Some enemy characters are written to protect the world, others are written to rule it, but a rare few are written to test it. They don't exist to uphold order, challenge evil, or inspire hope. They exist to see what happens when all restraint is stripped away, when strength is pushed to its breaking point and only instincts remain. Kenpachi Zaraki is one of those characters. He doesn't sharpen his blade for justice. He doesn't measure his strength against ideals. He fights because battle is the only moment that feels real, the only place where pain, fear, and joy speak the same language. And Kenpachi is not an anomaly. Across enemy, we see the same beast appear in different forms. Yujiro Hanma, who treats the world as prey. Thorkell, who laughs as nations burn. Hisoka, who stalks potential like a predator. Kaido, who searches for meaning at the edge of death. And Sukuna, who turns chaos into domination. These characters are not villains. They are not heroes. They are the stress test. And when they enter a story, the rules stop working. Beasts in enemy are not defined by strength alone. If power were enough, every overpowered character would qualify. But beasts are different. They don't merely possess strength. They exist in defiance of a system meant to contain it. Kenpachi has no interest in hierarchy, rank, or destiny. He didn't train to become a captain. He didn't climb a ladder. He simply walked into a world governed by rules and survived long enough that the rules had to accommodate him. His power is not refined, optimized, or symbolic. It is raw presence, the kind that bends the environment by just standing in it. This is the defining trait of the beast archetype. Instinct over ideology. They do not fight for causes. They fight because conflict strips reality down to something honest. In battle, there is no politics, no performance, no lies, only sensation and survival. For Kenpachi, joy does not come from victory. It comes from resistance, from meeting another being strong enough to push back. Across enemy, this instinct manifests in different forms. Yujiro Hanma embodies dominance, a beast who asserts superiority over the entire world, not for conquest, but to prove that no structure stands above him. Thorkell represents celebration, treating war as a festival where strength is the only currency that matters. Hisoka is predation, savoring anticipation and fear more than the fight itself. Kaido is existential despair, chasing a battle worthy enough to give his life meaning. And Sukuna is cruelty, a beast who delights in the collapse of order itself. What unites them is not mortality, ambition, or intelligence. It's honesty. They do not pretend to be better than they are. They do not apologize for what they want. And they do not hide behind ideals to justify their violence. In a world obsessed with meaning, the beasts offer something unsettling, a life lived without explanation. Despite how chaotic they appear, this archetype is not mindless. They don't act randomly. They don't lash out without reason. They simply follow a different code, one that doesn't come from laws, morals, or social contracts, but from instinct. Kenpachi's behavior makes this clear. He doesn't ambush the weak. He doesn't hunt easy victories. He actively limits himself, giving opponents every possible chance to fight back. To an outsider, this looks reckless, but to Kenpachi, it's fairness. A fight only matters if both sides can feel it. If there's no danger, no resistance, no risk of death, then the moment is empty. This instinctive code appears across every beast, even when their personality wildly differs. Yujiro Hanma operates on dominance, but even he respects strength. He humiliates the weak, but acknowledges power when he encounters it. Thorkell follows joy. He fights loudly, openly, and without hatred. War for him is not tragedy or duty, it's celebration. His laughter in battle isn't mockery, it's genuine happiness at being fully alive. Hisoka's code as predation means he doesn't seek chaos for its own sake, he cultivates it. He allows potential to grow because the hunt is sweeter when the prey can bite back. Killing too early would violate the thrill. Kaido's code of despair means he believes life has lost meaning in a world where no one can challenge him. His violence is an attempt to feel something, to find a battle heavy enough to justify his existence. And Sukuna's code of cruelty obeys no rules except for his own pleasure, finding joy in suffering itself. Where Kenpachi seeks existence, Sukuna seeks submission, revealing the darkest edge of the beast archetype. For this type of archetype, chaos is not something to be feared, it's something to be trusted. Order depends on stories, laws, morals, promises, futures. Chaos strips all of that away. In chaos, there's no performance or no presence. Pain is real, fear is immediate, survival is honest. This is why characters like Kenpachi feel most alive in battle. Conflicts remove the noise of the world and leave only the truth behind. Kenpachi doesn't fight to win, he fights to feel, to experience resistance that proves both he and his opponent exist in the same moment. Victory without danger is meaningless, death without struggle is empty, chaos is the only space where neither can hide. The psychology repeats itself across anime. Yujiro rejects civilization because it weakens people. Chaos to him reveals natural hierarchy. Thorkell laughs in war because conflict removes doubt and turns life into something simple. Hisoka chases danger because anticipation is the purest form of sensation. Kaido searches for a battle strong enough to give his life meaning because peace has hollowed him out. And Sukuna embraces cruelty because suffering proves dominance in a world he sees as disposable. What separates these characters from heroes isn't strength, it's belief. Heroes believe the world can be fixed. This archetype believes the world can only be felt. There's a moment in every Beast story when the restraints disappear, the laughter fades, the game stops, and the atmosphere changes. For Kenpachi, this moment is unmistakable. When the bells fall silent and the eye patch falls off, the joy drains from his face. What replaces this isn't rage, it's focus. The battlefield no longer feels like a playground. It feels like a test that must be finished. Kenpachi doesn't transform into something new. He reveals what was always there, hidden behind self-imposed limits. This is what makes the Beast's release so unsettling. It isn't explosive or dramatic in the traditional sense. It is inevitable. Yujiro Hanma's unleashed state feels similar. When he decides to stop playing, the world reminds itself that dominance is not theoretical. Thorkell's shift is subtler, but just as chilling. When the laughter fades, the warrior beneath the celebration emerges. War stops being a festival and becomes a reminder of how easily bodies break. Hisoka's release comes when anticipation ends. When the hunt is over, the smile becomes sharper, colder. The playfulness drains away, revealing a predator that no longer needs to savor the moment. And Sukuna, when fully unleashed, becomes something entirely. Cruelty without pause across every version. This pattern is the same. When the beast is unleashed, the story itself bends. Tactics stop working, hope becomes irrelevant, and survival replaces victory as the only objective. Because the most terrifying thing about this archetype isn't their power, it's the moment they decide the game is over.